Welcome to the after party. I think that's what I'm calling it. I don't know.
Okay.
But this is our bonus episode, and one of them anyway. So we're going to call it the after party. This is, again, this very loose format. No idea how it's going to play out, but it should be fun.
Yeah, we're kind of winging this.
Exactly. And this was a springboard off of the facts in the case of Monsieur Valdemar. When we mentioned the word daybreak, and you said, nobody uses the word daybreak anymore.
Right.
And it's true. We kind of don't say that anymore. And say, I'm going to do this thing at daybreak.
One of the things about daybreak that we were talking about, and I'm not going to get into it because I don't remember it all.
Yeah.
And I'll sound like a dick. But Steve Coogan and Rob Brydon have that movie called The Trip.
That's right. Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
And they do a funny bit about a period drama out in northern England in the hills and the mountains, and we rise at daybreak and all that.
Right.
Shit.
Yeah. Right.
And when he says it, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to try and attempt that, but that's where the idea came from. Is hey, nobody uses that word anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. And that inspired this, where you were like, well, we should do a bonus episode about this stuff because it's true. It's like there are words in these stories that we're covering that we come across and we're like, yeah, nobody really says that anymore.
Like, nice word. That's a $5 word.
Right.
By the way, I found out that archaism, it means a word or phrase no longer used in modern conversation.
Oh, neat. Okay.
It's an archaism, which makes sense.
Yeah. And that brings me to sesquipedalianism, which is the act of using large words.
Nice.
Yeah, some sesquipedalian motherfucker was dropping large words on me.
Nice.
Okay, so the first one is straight out of Edgar Allan Poe and H.P. Lovecraft, and that's I-Core.
Good one. Nice.
Yes, we don't say I-Core anymore, and I wish we would. I guess that should be the subtext of this whole thing, is that it's words we don't use anymore, but we wish we would.
Yeah.
But in one case that I have, I wish we wouldn't. But they'll get to that. But
it better not be what I think it is.
Oh, maybe actually. So anyway, I-Core is, again, I didn't look it up, but I think it's one of the four humors for like the old medieval thing about, the four humors is blood, bile, something, water, I guess maybe is one of them. I don't know. But I-Core is one of them for sure.
Just calling it the four humors is also crazy.
Yeah, right. Yes. Yeah.
But that's cool.
Yeah. So I-Core is it's just a viscous, nasty substance. And it works so well in Poe and in Lovecraft. And I'm sure it appears elsewhere. But I wish more people would use it. It would make a great whiskey name. If you call it, or like absinthe. If you had an absinthe called I-Core. That would be a good thing,
That's a good one.
Right?
It seems like in those stories it's always red as well.
Yeah, you had said that. I, for some reason, always pictured a green.
Oh, really?
Green I-Core. Like the movie Reanimator, what's in his syringe, that neon green, glowing green crap. I always picture I-Core looking like that for some reason.
I picture sinews and guts.
Right, and of course in Valdemar, it's yellow.
Oh, yeah, we did cover that, and that made me sick then, too. It's gross.
Incidentally, I did a little bit of research into the Victorian era, and they were kind of hardcore with their gore in the Penny Dreadfuls and stuff like that. For some reason, I don't think they were that in your face, though, as Poe gets in that story.
I was talking about that recently to somebody, and I said that's the gnarliest one we've done.
Yeah.
That's really it's a gross story.
Yeah.
It's really gross. And during it.
Yes.
When you said his tongue was vibrating and words were coming out.
Right.
Like, oh.
Yeah. Black tongue. It's a blackened tongue.
Yeah, it was all
and it's vibrating. It's
just rough. Yeah.
So anyway, I-Core is my number one.
It's a great one. It's a great start, dude.
Yep. So what do you got?
I was hoping for gems. I'm like, oh, this word.
Yeah, right.
The first one, I'll just say that this one is propound.
Okay.
Right?
Right. That's a good one.
So I heard it in Tolkien's Silmarillion.
Right.
And he said he was propounding themes of music.
Oh, nice.
And I thought, that word, there's something weird about that word.
Yeah.
First of all, it's never used. Second of all, to propound something, the definition is to put forward an idea.
Right, sure.
Or a theory or a point of view.
Yeah.
For the consideration of others.
Yeah.
Okay. So he was putting these things in people's head through music.
Okay.
And pounding it in there.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, it's just a good word.
It's a great word.
It's a great word to describe what he's doing.
Yes.
Because he is pounding it into their heads. So anyway, I'm like, that's not one I've heard anyone that I know say. So
Yeah,
that hits the list.
for sure.
Propounding.
Can I add a bonus one that's
Yeah.
sort of related? Because when you first said propound, for a second in my head, I thought preponderance. And I was like, oh, that's a word you don't hear either, preponderance.
No, that is a good one.
Yeah. Anyway, but propound is a really good one, actually.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay. My next one. It's more of a grammatical thing. This is the one I came up with right on the spot just now. You see this in Victorian works. You don't really see it after that. Is when they say, instead of blah, 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 John said, or Harry said, or I said, they said I. Okay? They'll say, said John. Hello, said John. They'll say that. Yes, how are you, said I. You don't see said I anymore. It's always I said.
Yep.
And I don't know why, because we do say said so-and-so, said this one, said that one, but we never said say I since then. So I'm wondering what the deal is with that.
Maybe, because I don't have any examples to back this up, but
Yeah.
the way that Scotch-Irish people, through music, still have their heritage.
Yes.
But through their dialect, they're completely removed.
Okay.
In America.
Mm-hmm.
The, Appalachian folks, right? When they speak, you're like, what?
Yeah.
But they come from, maybe not necessarily straight lineage, but from the area of lovely speak.
Yeah.
And it's a weird thing that it got so fucking cannibalized and just shortened and brutalized.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. But the music is pretty damn close.
Yeah. Right.
Which is weird.
Yeah. And that is interesting.
I
never thought about that. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. And as far as the language, they didn't give a shit about that, apparently. They let that go and just went, pretty baseline.
Yeah, he's right. Yeah. I guess maybe the language is one of the first thing that goes. I don't know.
I guess so. Over time, everything gets bastardized.
Yeah, except for the music and the cooking,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. But anyway, so said I, that was one I came up with on the spot. Maybe I should replace it with preponderance because preponderance is cool.
It is a good word.
Yeah. It's like a preponderance of walnuts in this house.
You know what that makes me think of? And it's not the same, but have you heard the outtakes of Casey Kasem just losing his shit?
Oh, yeah. Fucking ponderous, man.
Oh, my God, is that gold?
Yeah. Man, fucking ponderous, man. That's what he said.
Like Shaggy's pissed off.
Yes. We're not come out of a upbeat song talking about a kid's fucking dog dying.
Yeah. And it's the best because he's like, God damn ponderous. And then he's like, and now we have a long distance dedication. What a fucking pro. Holy shit. That was crazy.
Speaking of that stuff, those kind of outtakes, you ever hear the one with Paul Anka? There's
I've
two
heard
of them. One is Paul
I don't know
Anka.
if I've heard of Paul Anka, though. I mean, of his outtakes.
He's yelling at his guys, and he says something like, when this happened, blah, 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 I cut like a hammer. He's like, cut like a hammer.
That's great.
And then he's talking, he's like, and that's the fucking way it is. It's like, that's great. I would love to end, a rant with that. Just be like, that's the fucking way it is.
Yeah, a good rant ends with a solid "go fuck yourself"
Right.
finish. You
And
really earn that.
The king of them all, Buddy Rich. I'm sure you've heard that one.
His is great.
Yeah.
His is great. There's another one though that I'm gapping on. Who the fuck is that? It might come to me later, but
Okay.
you got to remember who you're dealing with here. The fucking sieve for a moment.
Sorry.
It all ends up in a soup in my back of my brain somewhere.
It all ends up consumed by hops and malt.
Oh, well, there's a good transition right there.
Oh, good. Okay, let's hear it.
My next word
Yes.
is not really lost yet,
Okay.
but it's an interesting word. Maybe I'm not playing by the rules here, but the word is consumption.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we can all say, the consumption of food is a necessary thing we all have to do, whatever.
Sure.
Okay. But then there's an illness called consumption.
Sure.
Tuberculosis.
Yeah.
When I read something that said, he had consumption, I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
That's I forgot about that word being used that way. And it's gross.
It is.
Because you're being consumed by tuberculosis.
Yes.
It's consuming you, and you are now labeled with having consumption.
Yes.
Fucking gross.
Yeah, it is. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it was the source of a lot of vampirism speculation too. You know,
Yeah.
what's causing this thing? It could be a vampire consuming you. You know, like I mean, you know, the whatever a vampire does to you to drain you of all this stuff, you are being consumed.
Yeah.
You know, but in a very literal sense, you're being consumed by the vampire as well. It's really
Right,
cool.
right.
Yeah, neat stuff.
It's cool when words have dual meanings.
Yes.
Whatever that singular word to say that is, I don't know.
Well, yeah, just you know, it has a dual meaning.
Yeah, dual meaning. All right. I thought maybe there's one word like it's a blah blah.
It might be.
Greetings, Beercast listeners. This is Alec. I have jumped in from another dimension where I'm editing this episode into your dimension where you're listening to the episode. I don't have a lot of time, but I've come to tell you that the definition of a word that has two meanings is actually called a homonym. Now, maybe you smart people knew this already, maybe not. We didn't, or we forgot, whatever. But that's it. Now I shall return to my dimension where I'm editing this episode. But yeah, consumption's a weird one to me.
Yeah,
Something
that's
about
a cool
it.
one.
It's a
No,
weird
I
one.
like it. I like it. That's a cool one. You're right. Well, all right. Speaking of a word having two meanings, definitely in Sherlock Holmes, you see this one all the time. But he did this at the end of Valdemar too, and I purposely left it out of the quote because it was going to take away from it.
Mm.
He ejaculated instead of he yelled something. He ejaculated.
Yep.
I'm coming. He ejaculated.
Right.
So, yeah, that's one we don't use.
No.
You know,
that's okay.
he does say in Valdemar, he does say like amid ejaculations of dead, because that's what Valdemar's like screaming while he's trying to bring him out of the trance.
Yeah.
And you know, he's ejaculating all over the place in that story. So.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, if you can separate yourself from the 8-year-old chuckling of that word,
That's right.
it's a good word.
It's a great word.
But I can't do that because I am
No.
an 8-year-old, and it's like, no, that's ejaculating. I can't say it.
No, you can't say it.
That's throwing loopers. You can't say it. It's gross. That's a good one, though.
Yep.
All right.
So
Yeah. Okay.
there you have it.
That's a good one.
Yep, that's one of the,
Very good.
That's capping my 3 right there.
No, that wasn't 3, was it?
I think it was, yeah, because I said I core.
Oh, it
and
was
then I
3.
said I, but then I changed it to preponderance. Preponderance is a better one. And then a preponderance of ejaculations. I'm gonna end on that.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, so go on.
Yeah, we got to stop saying that word.
Yeah, I'm
already.
sorry. Yes, we will.
We're done with that one. It was a good one, but we're done with that one.
Yes.
All right. So my third one, anyone who's been listening either knows us or has been listening knows we kind of tiptoe around the prog thing.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
You know. So I came across a word that I didn't think was a real word. Like
Okay.
I thought it was made up
Okay.
by Peter Gabriel
Okay.
in Genesis,
Yeah.
not on his own in the band.
Right.
And the word is slubberdigullion.
Oh my God. Where's
Yeah.
that from?
It's from the colony of Slipperman from The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway.
Yeah, I don't know that album that well, but I know that
yeah.
song. I know that song, but okay. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, he says, I wandered lonely as a cloud, which is also pretty great.
Yeah, well, that's from
Keats.
Keith. No.
Yates.
Wordsworth.
Wordsworth.
Yes.
Fucking wrong twice.
No, I think I'm floats on, daffodils. Yes, it's Wordsworth. I'm
Wordsworth.
sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, and he says, I wandered lonely as a cloud till I came upon this dirty street.
Yeah.
Slubberdigullions with squeaky feet. Something like that. I might have missed a line, but
That's awesome. That sounds like a Lewis Carroll word.
yeah, I'm like,
You know?
ooh, slubberdigullion. And what it means is slovenly,
Oh, okay.
like a layabout,
Yeah.
right?
It's perfect. It sounds like it.
And I was like, what a word. I thought
Yeah.
it sounded good to him because, he's got a real habit of, before he gets his lyrics right, he does something what he calls Gabrielese
Okay.
and just makes sounds that sound right to him. And they just kind of
that's
flow
cool.
out, and it's
Yeah.
doesn't mean anything, but it goes musically with the song, and it kind of
Right.
makes things happen.
That's great. That Lennon used to do that too. John
Yeah.
Lennon used to do
Yeah. I
that.
think a lot of people do it.
Yeah, sure.
And so I thought it was just that, like he came up with some crazy, blubbery, gross word, but it's a real word.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Slubberdigullion.
I love it.
Yeah. It's crazy.
That rivals Heracleum Montegaziani.
Yeah. Yeah, the hogweed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
great.
if you people aren't careful, we'll just start nerding out and forgot what our topic was.
We'll just start a new podcast altogether.
Go prog yourself.
Right. Love it.
Maybe we should do a honorable mentions.
Okay, go for it.
One was henceforth,
Yeah,
which
good.
I really love,
That's good.
which technically means from this time on or that time on.
Yeah, sure. Henceforth.
You got any others?
I don't think so. I'm trying to think real quick.
Mine are simple, like fortnight.
Fortnite. See, yeah, you're going here. You're going with it.
2 weeks.
Fortnite is good though.
But see, this can become a trap to where like we're gonna just pull out all the $5 words we can find in a book.
Right, sure.
And just make it who has the longest word, and I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying to make it some kind of interesting.
But to say Fortnite, I mean, it was a pretty common word.
Yeah, it was like
as
constantly.
was henceforth. Henceforth was as well.
Another one is morrow.
Oh, on the morrow to say something like that.
Just say tomorrow.
Right.
And there's another one I didn't know about, which is overmorrow.
Oh, that I don't know.
That's the day after tomorrow.
Oh, overmorrow. I love it.
Isn't that cool?
I'm going to start using that one.
Overmorrow.
Yeah. I'm not doing it tomorrow. No, I'll do it overmorrow.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. And there's only one other one that I have.
Yeah.
To me, it's a great word, and I maybe should have led with this one because it's a fucking awesome word.
What?
I don't know why I think it's awesome, but it's thrall.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thrall is good.
A state of bondage or servitude.
Yeah.
Either physical or mental, where a person is under the control of another.
Right. So if you're enthralled,
yeah,
you are technically captive.
Well, it also describes a person in such a state.
Right.
Such as a thrall to power or greed.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that was a usage. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jorge Luis Borges said that when you're in love with somebody, you are their slave.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there it is.
See, that word to me is just fucked. Slave.
Slave?
Yeah, even though it's an older connotation to what I think of slave now.
Okay.
Thrall to me sounds like what it's supposed to mean.
Okay. I got you.
Not full of awful. I mean, it's awful.
Yeah.
But it's also not, it's not slave.
Yeah.
Which is terrible fucking connotations now. It always has been.
Yeah, well, sure. Of course.
But,
Yes.
America's got a special little fucking shelf for that one.
Yeah.
It's gross.
Yeah.
So, thrall is just a great word.
That is a great word.
We
use this word, but not in the way that it's meant to be used.
Mm-hmm.
The word awesome, once upon a time, was something really cool.
Yeah.
If something was awesome, it did fill you with awe.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was,
Yeah.
And so on the... Oh, okay. Here was one that I should have... I remembered this, and I was going to write it down. The word gruesome.
Yeah,
you had mentioned that, and the root word is gru, and that was a word that was fairly well known back in the day as well. Gru
really,
was just gore, So so something was gruesome. It was just bleh. Yeah. So gruesome is I think that's I'm gonna replace ejaculate with gruesome.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but that is a good one. Gruesome, and so anything that with some at the end, meaning that it's full of that thing. So awesome, gruesome.
Yeah, loathsome.
Loathsome is a wonderful word.
Yeah,
winsome.
Oh, good one.
Yeah, good stuff.
Tiresome. Anything with some
tiresome.
Is good.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Some of these are perfectly recognizable now. People use them. It's great, but the ones that have slipped away, that's a weird thing that happens.
Yes,
they almost disappear if you're not paying close attention or looking for them.
I used to know a girl who was I don't know if she was a linguistics major, but she did take courses in linguistics, and we would sort of go back and forth with stuff because I'm anti-empathy. Empathy, motherfucker. I'm anti-entropy.
Entropy,
That was a Freudian slip. I'm anti-empathy.
That's
overrated.
Good shit.
Empathy's overrated. Fuck you guys. Empathy's overrated. I'm anti-entropy. I don't like it when things just die away. Bothers me. I don't like to see things disappear or
To
or
me,
at
that
least just
depends
get
on what the
old.
thing is.
I guess we could split hairs that way. True.
Yeah, right.
Like I
I know.
could
I
say,
know what you mean, though. You would have
yeah,
said the same thing. It depends on
true,
what it is.
true, absolutely. So like this is why I have 5 fucking typewriters in my house. That's why I don't like to see things go to
Yeah.
go the way of the fifth Beatle, as they say.
Right.
I like to preserve the past in a way, and that which is worth preserving. Let's put it that way.
Sure. It's like our the 1940s alert.
Oh, right. Yes.
We mentioned that we're not gonna say things, but for the sake of preservation, we're not gonna delete it either.
Right. Sure. Right.
Okay. Yeah. Because especially like I in no way will ever get political on any episode.
Right. Sure.
I'm not that guy anymore.
Right. I got you.
But there are people who are trying to cancel words.
Sure.
And history and shit like that. And it's, it's fucked.
It's very disconcerting to see
for the sake of an agenda and for an ideology.
I agree.
And fuck you,
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah. Cuz let's put it in really like simplistic terms here. Mm-hmm. You get rid of that, then you get rid of Vlad the Impaler. You get rid of Vlad the Impaler, and you get rid of Dracula.
Yeah,
it's like, and now you
cannot even deal with that.
Right now, you're stepping on our territory.
Now you're like fucking with Paul, and he's not going to have it.
Right, right, exactly.
Fuck off.
Excuse me.
Fuck off.
Excuse me.
Fuck off.
Yeah, there's a real danger there that anything could be. You think everything's set in stone, and it's not.
Yeah, agreed.
It's weird. It like can drift away and be changed. You got to watch it.
Well, you want to continue this old man rant, then, my linguistics friend, I used to say that I hate when words are not used properly. Certain words are not used properly. And I can't even think of an example right now, but whatever.
I know you.
No, that word is being used wrong. All right, let's just use awesome as an example, even though I don't feel that way about awesome, but all right, let's just use it as an example. She would say to me, well, no, language is supposed to evolve. And yes, true. Language does evolve, or it doesn't. Not supposed to. It just does evolve. That's the fact. Yes. Yep. Okay. Great. But I would say just in modern times, it seems like it's evolving quicker than usual and through ignorance.
I think it's devolving. I think
I guess
using
it
words
depends on
to
how
be.
you.
I gotta think of one now. I
I
didn't realize that I woke up this morning and became 80 years old. But these damn kids. No, but there's some words that they're fucking with that just sound like it's just lazy.
Well, that's exactly what it is. I said it shouldn't evolve because of slovenliness or laziness. It should evolve because just things just change. You get, little mutations here and there. The way evolution works, little mutations stick and, beget the current form. Mm-hmm. Here's a great example. I saw this little schmuck on YouTube doing because I was looking up how to make something on Microsoft Word. Okay. Mm-hmm. I had to do so. I go to YouTube University, as they say, right? And click on a YouTube video about how to do this one thing. I wanted to make a table of contents for a document. Okay. How to make a clickable table of contents. Well, this little schmuck is telling me all the great things I can do, and he's calling it a table of content. Because to him, there's no such thing as a table of contents. There's only content because he's on fucking YouTube.
Yeah, he only knows the term content.
And
Gotcha.
So he says table of content. And I wanted to reach through and throttle him.
Like, you're doing it wrong, dude.
And I also heard somebody say something versus something. They called it verse instead of verses. Like Godzilla versus Megalon.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Do you not know? Did you not get through high school and they told you about Brown versus the Board of Education? What did they call it? Brown versus the Board of weren't you paying attention at all up until this point in your life?
It's not even that they're phoning it in. It's just that they're fucking wrong.
Right.
They're just wrong. It's like you misunderstood all of it. You're doing it wrong. You're doing it all wrong.
Everything you're doing is wrong.
You get an F. You get a fucking F on everything you're doing.
Fail. Whatever. Anyway, all right. I guess on that note, let's end with.
I think we shit on everyone.
Yes, exactly.
I think we're done.
Well, there's a few other people out there, but we'll stick with.
We'll save that for later.
Right. Let's stop. And cue the outro.